Going live with my boy Sam Rains. You gotta let me know what's going on because I can't see nothing. As opposed to normal. Look at the size of that melon. Yeah, that's all I got. I'm minimizing that so I can see my route. I'm on the road heading up to Parsons, Kansas. Sam has can you hear me? No, if I use the GPS, it locks it freezes me up. So you can tell them what we're doing. Basically, oh, okay. Well, I wanted to go live and just field questions from people that while I drove down the road, and uh, the biggest thing was talking about YouTube, our discussion about YouTube, and what people thought of trying to move the scrap to YouTube exclusively, if it was a good idea, bad idea, pros and cons. Now I'm gonna go check my GPS, which means I'm gonna freeze. All right, I'm back. Can you hear me? Okay. I figured out how to keep my GPS up down in the corner. Patrick, no, you're good. You don't know if I'm frozen or not. No, Patrick, talk about maybe switching the scrap over to YouTube exclusively. Like, quit going to all the different platforms at once and trying to get just on YouTube because it's the most streamer friendly. Because it's a live show and it's the best one for a live show. And maybe we could improve the quality by focusing on one. I'm trying to see what people think of that. How I know it will be a hit on the audience because so much of our audience comes from Facebook. So I'm just trying to gauge the interest or level or what people think about that concept. The Lions, Peyton Price. Peyton Price. Okay. Yeah, Corley. So far, so it's a twofold, two birds, one stone. I wanted to see what people thought about. Go ahead. Yeah, I'm about to. I'm stuck in traffic, creeping along on I-44 here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. You want me to repeat it all? Basically, having the discussion, talking about we're in the early stages of discussing whether we should take the scrap and go exclusively to YouTube and quit trying to multi-platform it and just focus on improving the quality on one platform. And if we're going to pick one platform, then YouTube is the best platform to do a stream on. And so just gauging what people think because we know it's going to be a hit on the audience because so much of our audience is tied to Facebook, and it'll be a hit while they make the transition. So I'm just seeing what the Loyal Scrap listeners think of the idea, and just kind of getting feedback as we gauge whether we should do it or not.
And for the record, nobody could hear me talking until right now.
The whole time?
The whole time. Everything I said. Nobody heard it. Nobody heard it at all.
The explanations for the freezes and all of that?
I was explaining everything and they didn't hear squat. Yeah, basically.
Okay. Beautiful.
Dan Bender said, I vote for whatever Sam wants. I'm good either way. I appreciate that. Thank you, Dan. Jake, the question is, should we move the scrap, the weekly live scrap, to YouTube exclusively? That's the question.
And because we're using a lot of resources to stream to multiple places, and instead of focusing on just one and making the quality better, we're kind of, I don't want to say watering it down, but we're doing the best we can. But it's like a shotgun. It doesn't have much penetration. Yeah. It's like blasting out. But if we could focus down laser-like just to one, would it be better? And if we did one, it would have to be YouTube because it's the best streaming platform.
Andy, the answer to your question, Andy, is that it is free. You can go to YouTube and watch videos for free. It doesn't cost you any money at all.
Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely not. This is not to paywall the scrap. My intention is to never paywall the scrap any way, shape, or form.
And Tony, I appreciate you answering that question because I missed it. But yeah, when we do the live scrap, Kyle or I, when we're watching for questions, we have to watch YouTube and Facebook at the same time so that we can get all the questions.
And Instagram.
Yeah.
It's just a question. I'm not like we're going to pull the trigger and do it tomorrow, but it's definitely always worried about the direction of the scrap and how to make it better. And I don't know if we can make it better trying to stream to everything at once. But it may be the best way to do it. It was actually Rob Fisher. I was talking to Rob Fisher last night on the phone, and he's the one that said, how come you haven't just gone to YouTube and just left it there? You can watch it on your smart TVs, on your tablets, on your laptops. I mean, everybody can watch YouTube anywhere. And I mean, when he said it like that, it made a lot of sense. But at the same time, what's the harm in it being on YouTube and on Facebook? And that's what I'm trying to figure out. Yeah. I'm trying to hear what people think. Is there a doubt?
Dan Bender said, dude, you're both killing it. If it's easier logistically, go for it. Michael Ramirez said, what up, Sam? Hey, Mike, what's going on? Car Ramrod.
Ramrod. Team Ramrod.
Andy said, Facebook quality. I don't know if that was a dig. It sounded like a dig.
Facebook, yeah, without a doubt. I don't know if we'll ever get a better than 720 on a live. You can do it with recordings.
Tara Cornett said, yeah, I wouldn't leave your Facebook audience.
Yeah, that's the trouble. That's definitely where I hang up, is saying. And the thing is, would it be good enough to send the link and saying, hey, the scrap is now live here, follow the link? That's my question.
Well, a lot of people are talking about it being easier to stream to one, and we do jump through a lot of hoops every week to get to all the platforms. That's not a joke, but it's not a problem. We just don't know if the scrap is suffering because of how many directions we go with it every week.
The diffusion of the focus.
Car Ramrod is Team YouTube all day.
Team YouTube. You got to pick a team. Team Ramrod or Team YouTube?
Tara said, keep doing both. Fire. Jason says, one platform screams easier for you, but no redundancy if YouTube is down. He's not wrong about that.
That's true. That's very true. So we've had them go down before and say, hey, you can still watch this on insert whatever.
The Instagram one we had trouble with last week and told everybody to go to YouTube, and that kind of worked out. So just try it, meow. I like the reference, Andy.
We keep making Super Trooper references.
Anytime Mike's around, there's going to be Super Trooper references. It's just going to happen.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
We got 21 people in here, by the way. If you build
Nice.
it, they will
Hey,
come, said Patrick.
We may do a test run. Like I said, I'm with Tara as far as I don't want to alienate the Facebook audience.
That's where I'm at.
But
too.
if people could just click and go, they click on the notification of their live. I don't know. Because Facebook has a lot of good stuff built in for 234A. That's me.
I just, as someone who's constantly looking at where the posts are coming from, Facebook gets the vast majority of questions and conversations going during the scrap.
No, and also, putting up the event, people can click that they're going to attend, and then they get notified of it. You know what I'm saying? All of those tools that are in place for setting up the stream is just really nice on Facebook.
All of them have their positives. All of them have their negatives.
So we'll just keep all the positives and all the negatives.
I mean,
keep doing what we're doing.
I mean, I realize this is just a great topic of conversation to have. Candace says, "Hi guys, how's it going, Candace?"
Is that Chief Ashby? Welcome back.
Yes, it is. Holy crap! I'm sorry.
I'm sorry,
Candy. I didn't recognize your name until he said that.
Candace, we've had such a tremendous outpouring of positive feedback from your scrap. Might be one of the most. I'm trying to say it the right way without hyperbole. Might be one of the most. What do you call it? Just response. The biggest response to it. Just people saying, "Holy smokes, how good was that scrap?"
I stand by what I said. I don't know if it's not the greatest scrap I've ever seen. It's definitely in the top 3.
5. I know I have a recency bias, and I say that every week. But I do have a recency bias. But it was good. I had people texting me that hadn't texted me in a couple months. Good friends that life is life.
I lost questions. I don't lose questions. I get them all. And while Candy was talking, I was listening and not reading the questions. That happened to me. I feel bad about it, but it happened.
Tulsa traffic right now.
Andy says the believers will follow you anywhere. We believe that. We trust in that. But we also have some data that says that fans in certain places are a little fickle. A little bit. Just a little. Candy says, I appreciate everything you guys do. I'll be honest with you, Candy.
Sweet. Anybody else got a topic? We can keep discussing it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not shutting it down. But let me know if you got another topic to discuss.
Jake says, Corley, are you coming to the lake for the Revolution?
I have not. I know I haven't heard the dates or anything yet. I've not been contacted. So I don't. Right now, no. I know I've got a big trip planned in August, and July has firemanship, and July is usually when they have it, so I'm not sure about the timing and stuff. Typically, I want to say Revolution's always been in late July, and firemanship is that second week in July, that second full week, like the 15th or the 20th or whatever it is. So it just depends on when it is, and if the travel schedule's there. I love the Revolution.
Chuck Hennis said, Chief Candace was one of 2 people on the scrap that commented on comments after the scrap, so hard to knock that.
Woo!
Jake came back with that. Well, that needs to change. It's not July this year. I think the lake is October, said David.
Yeah, I remember he posted. I don't remember what the dates were. I knew it was different than normal. And right now, I don't think my October is very full. I think I have 2 things.
Guys, if you got questions for Corley, now's the time to ask. The dude's on a long road trip, and he just needs distraction.
This is keeping me from. I'm not a good driver.
We spent the last hour just talking on the phone, and Corley's like, "Let's go live." I'm like, "Hell yeah, let's do it." Basically, he got bored of me. Now he needs you.
I can't read the questions, so I needed Sam to go live so he could read the questions. Anybody going to be at up in Parsons, Kansas?
Jason asked, "Are you chasing the eclipse?" Jason Gregory.
I'm not chasing the eclipse. I'm heading to speak tomorrow at LeBlatt Community College Fire School.
My neighbor did come over about 20 minutes ago and give me these and said, "Hey, come drink beer with me in the backyard during the eclipse."
Yeah, David Pruitt, Daddy, down in his city is, I used to rattle off the name of the city, but I can't, Hillsboro. Down there in Hillsboro, Texas, one of the places where it's 100%.
Right.
And it's been booked out. His whole city's been booked out for the last year and a half. And they're ready. They're ready for people to descend upon their city like locusts. He's been prepping for it for a while. So,
guys,
but he did say, "Go ahead."
No, I was gonna say this is your chance. You got Corley locked in a truck. He can't go anywhere. You can ask anything you want.
Talk to me about people. I keep walking on you, dude. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Andy said, "What could possibly go wrong with beer in the eclipse?" Patrick asks, "What's your thoughts about bringing the vigilante flag to FDIC for a group picture?"
The vigilante flag? You talking about the Creed flag that hangs in the back?
I think that's what he's talking about. Yeah.
Okay, because I was like, I don't have a vigilante flag, although a vigilante flag sounds really cool. I know Amanda was doing a lot of research on actually finding a good flag manufacturer. The one I have, it looks okay hanging in the background, but it's pretty cheap. But all that being said, yeah, I will fold it up. It's light. I'll fold it. Remind me, Patrick, before I pack, and I'll throw it in there because that'd be awesome to take a picture with, and we can do it every year. Anytime we have a big vigilante get together, we know what's going to happen. We can bring the flag.
All right, Jake Dill said, "Woodward is headed to Parsons tomorrow. Get with him on the Revolution, and if you can make it, we need to do a meetup or dinner or something."
Heck yeah. I will see how he's doing his heavy rescue, isn't he? A rescue class?
Tara says, "I've got one. I'll send a flag manufacturer to Amanda."
Okay, good. That's excellent.
Do that. Please, yeah, we've been talking about a flag for so long. Please do that, Tara. Please.
It's not like Amanda. She has so much on her plate that she's working on, and so she did look into flags, but like I said, it wasn't a really super high priority, and the few we looked at were pretty bad.
No, I need a flag behind me for certain. So let's make that happen. Jake said yes, extrication class. Did I read that right?
Yeah, extrication, right.
Yeah,
okay. Rock on.
But yeah, you got Corley locked in a truck here. He can't go anywhere. Any questions you want to ask?
Talk to me about people that I'm getting ready to book again for the second half of 2024. So, talk to me about people that need to be on, and not just the big names, and people that need to come back, but not just the big names, but also people that no one knows that are very passionate.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of people out there who nobody knows who they are who still need to be heard. So let's get those names.
And it just takes, there's rules. The unspoken rule, or the spoken rule actually, is like, if you want to be on the scrap, you don't have to be on the scrap.
Dan Bender said, "Can't wait for the vigilante meetup at Water on the Fire this year. Hopefully we can come up with another idea for 5 questions."
No doubt, dude. That was a good one last year.
Jake Dill said, "Dennis Riley needs to be on."
Yeah, it's been a while since DPR's been on.
Andy Folsom said that Nick Leeden needs to be on.
Nick Ledeen, he's been on twice.
I butchered that name, sorry.
No, he's been called Ledden his whole entire life.
I believe
Nick Ledden. But Ledeen's been on twice. Not that I won't have him on over and over and over again. I love that dude. And that's where I have to be careful, because I will have my friends, the people I love, on every week. I'd have Scott Thompson on every week and talk to him for hours. And he is coming up soon. He'll be on for like his 3rd or 4th.
And Andy also said Rothmeyer.
Yeah, Rothmeyer was good. I just had him last year when his book came out. I want to say August, September area. Very cerebral. Very, very smart dude.
Ramirez said, "There's only one Viceroy that I can remember, and he was great."
I think Rob's the only Viceroy that's done he had his toast, he did his read, he did it all. We'll get there. We just got to keep doing it.
Smith Megan says, "Jay Taylor from Pearland is my vote for Scrap Guest." Is that Pearland, Texas?
Jay Taylor from...
I'm just curious.
Pearland?
it's Pearland. I think it's Pearland, Texas, but I'm not 100%. I'm waiting for a
Yeah, that's
follow-up.
where Jacob Johnson's from.
Just says Jay Taylor. Oh, Jacob Johnson's another person. Yeah, I remember another person for that.
No, Austin, that Jacob Johnson.
Yeah, he's the chief in Pearland Fire Department, Jay Taylor. Jimmy Griffin says, "I know this is a big
Chief,
name." Chief of Department.
Who did Jimmy Griffin say? 'Cause I lost you.
I know. I'm trying to get back up there. The comments are coming so fast now; it's hard to keep up. Jimmy Griffin said, I know he's a big name, but has Billy Goldfeder been on?"
No, he has not. And here's the thing: is I really would love to have Goldfeder on. One of the big things, especially on the big names, is I try to always work through a relationship to make a contact. I don't like to cold call if I can help it. And so John Norman's another one. You know, obviously John Norman, Bob Morris. There's so many but I try to work through a personal relationship because I don't like to cold call and say, hey, would you like to come on this show you've never heard of? And so if somebody has a connection to Goldfeder, I will gladly leverage it. And anybody like that, I always try. And even when people suggest somebody that's not a big name, I always try to leverage a relationship into the equation.
Guys, if I miss your comment about a name, please be aware that these comments stay. Corley can read them afterwards. I can go through and make a list of all the names you suggested. So just because I don't say them doesn't mean that they're missed. Just letting you know. Let's see.
But yeah, Goldfeder. I would love to have Goldfeder. There's like the what is it called, the list that you want, you know, the dream list, the wish
dream
list.
Yeah.
I've got the dream list. I don't know if I've ever actually written it down and have an actual list, but it's floating around in my head. There's certain names that I haven't been able to make the connection with.
David Stender said Ty Wheeler, Rogue Training Consulting.
Ty Wheeler, okay.
From Sugarland, Texas, Michael Ramrod said, get Andy Frizella. Hold on.
I know the name Frizella.
Oh, that was Candace said Mark Campice from Sugarland, Texas.
Mark Campy?
Campy. See, I'm going to butcher all these names.
I don't know if I'm saying the name right. That's how I say it when I see it. It could be Campi.
Let's see. Jake Dill said, would also like to see Chad Daly with KCFD.
Here's a question for you. Chad Daly's awesome. I had him on, I want to say in the 80s. So it's been a while. It's been a few years. I need to have him back. He's amazing. He's one of my favorite people, actually. I have a lot of favorite people. But a good question I want to ask everybody is, I've never had a non-firefighter on the scrap. I think I've never had a non-firefighter. I've had retired firefighters. But they've all been firefighters at one point in their life. Now, I've often wondered, because me and Dina Ali were actually on the phone yesterday, and she was talking about a doctor that was a huge influence. I don't know the name right off the top of my head, so I apologize, Dina. But that was huge in her research on sleep and stress. And she said, Corley, it would be amazing for the firefighters to be able to ask questions about sleep and stress and mental health. But she's not a firefighter. And I've never had a non-firefighter. I just want to think, what do you guys think of the scrap if the scrap thought about having subject matter experts that were firefighting related but not firefighters? Because it's something I've never done. It's not like I'm opposed to it. It's just I've never done it.
While they're digesting that question, I'm going to tell you the names have gone by so fast I can't keep up with them.
That's awesome, man. That's be a great list to go look at.
We're going to have to go through and sort this list because Candace has
put
like 3 names. Like everybody's got names. Thank
you.
Jay Obb said 100%. Greg Van Ham says all for it. They're not opposed to having a non-firefighter.
Okay. No, that'll be interesting then.
Jay said it's okay to shake things up a bit.
No, I want to always look to improve the scrap, but I don't want to ever do change for the sake of change. But I also don't want to get stagnant, you know, and that's why I like to ask. I've got a list that's running on Facebook that's like, I don't know, 300 long of people making suggestions for guests. But I love love this live and having people.
Corley's breaking up right there. He's thanking you, basically, is what's happening. He's saying
Sorry.
thanks. Tara said, I know a firefighter who can
100%,
contribute to
man.
the
Thank you,
sleep
thank you.
topic in a great way. Not that I'm opposed to a non-firefighter on the scrap. Mental health counselor would be good, said Jay Obbs. How about a big city mayor, said Jake Dill. Now they're coming up with non-firefighters to get on the scrap.
A big city mayor?
Candace said, go after a police officer and we can appreciate how good we have it.
Let them come in and just bitch about what they have to do that we don't.
Yeah.
Let's let them come in and say they wish they would have been a firefighter. I've never met one that's done it long enough who says he wish he would have gone the other route. Who doesn't say that?
Guys, this is great. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for talking. We're not done. I am constantly amazed at the response we get when we do these little off the cuff things. Thank you.
Well, also, it appears that Sam's internet's doing pretty good.
It is. It's held up. It is holding up. I'm shocked.
We get to stress test his internet and have a good conversation and kill some road time too.
Yeah. By the way, how
All
far
good
out are
things.
you?
90 minutes.
90 minutes. I'm not saying we'll be on for 90 minutes, but it's potential. We have potential.
Yeah, that's the absolute cutoff when I pull into the hotel. Now, if people all leave, if there's no more conversation, then it'll be me and Sam talking to each other.
John Velez Jr. says, just join the party. If we're talking guest, Chief needs to get Dakota Meyer.
Man, I saw that you had an interview with him. I was like, holy shit, that's badass. So, since you had, yeah. Let's make it happen, John. That's what I'll say.
Man, I'm going to butcher this name. J. Obb said Tim Sendelbach would be awesome.
Sendelbach. I know the name, but I don't know who it is. It just sticks out because of its uniqueness. And I might be messing it up with somebody else. But let me know who that is. Don't be afraid to let me know who any of these people are.
John Velez says, I'll get with you, Chief.
Sweet.
Greg Van Ham seconds Dakota Meyer. All right. Outstanding. Dude, no, when you said give names, chat exploded. And it's just now calming down.
Good. No, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Oh, what's Jay? Jay says, oh, wait, hold on. I got to go back up. Chuck Hens says, what a good history guy. Part of the baggers as well. New Chief, Branacini. Chief Robert Isbell and Steppenville Fire Department worked at Mansfield. Oh, I guess he was just talking to somebody there. Jay Obb said, Chief in Colorado, former editor, Firehouse Magazine.
Sendelbach. Okay.
Okay, so Jason, goddamn, these names are killing me. Carava. Jason,
Take care of you.
Jason Carevu said that would be cool to get outsiders on like the sleep topic. Can you imagine the networking that scrap guests will get after being on the scrap? This will help them help firefighters. Twofold win.
Yeah. All right, you guys convince me. I'll call Dina and get that information from the one. Because, hey, anybody Dina says, I'm in on.
Tara said, come up with 5 questions for non-firefighters.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
That is a very good point.
That's a very good point, Tara.
John
Tara,
Chuckle,
have Tara tell us if it's Tara or Tara. Because I've always said Tara, and she's never corrected me, so I don't know. But you say Tara, so it makes me wonder.
I knew a Tara, so I pronounce it that way, but I don't. I couldn't tell you.
No, I don't know either.
I'm hoping she'll come in with one of those pronunciation descriptions.
Chair as in air.
She said you're right. So how did you pronounce it?
Tara.
Tara. So it is Tara. She said you're correct.
Boom. Point for Corley. Max points.
John Velez says, I hope you have a great weekend at LLC. Keep Preston Lions in line. 2 great conferences popping up this weekend. You guys at LLC and come and take this popping. Oh man, this.
Yeah, come and take it. I was actually gonna try and go to come and take it in Dallas and speak in the morning, and then jump in the car and then drive like the 8 hours up here to Kansas. But I just couldn't. I didn't think there was any way I could pull it off.
Dan
So
Bender
I just
says James Crawford would be interesting, especially if he talks about the Bryceland Street fire. Ramrod said somebody from the public on what they expect from their fire department. That's not a bad idea either. Just a rando off the street, and what do you expect out of your fire department? That might be an interesting topic. I don't know if it
I
would
might
last.
be. I think that might be better for like taking it to the streets, like with the camera and doing interviews.
No, no.
And then taking the best of them and putting them together and editing it. But I don't know if that would. I don't know if that could hold the scrap.
I say no because that'll end up being me, and that's.
Yeah, you're too. You're not a dude from the streets though, because you're way too exposed to all this stuff every week in, week out.
No. I meant I would be the one doing the interview. I would be the one out there with the microphone asking people
I
questions.
I got you.
I would be the Steve Carell. You know what I'm saying? Out there doing all the anyway.
Yes.
Ramrod said somebody from the. Oh wait. Jake Dill. How about getting the president of the IAFF on?
Who is the current president? Didn't they have a shakeup?
And the president of the Fools.
He was just on. Flegel. Sorry, I always say his name wrong. Flegel was just on in late January, early February.
Smith Megan says, if we're talking non-firefighter guests, I vote Amanda.
That's not bad. I don't know if you could convince her to do it.
The other problem is the topics with Amanda are just, well, I mean, honestly, you guys getting on and talking about your book for an hour, I think that would be a pretty big hit.
That wouldn't be bad for the book either. That wouldn't be a bad idea.
Wouldn't be, yeah. Greg Van Ham says that Ed Kelly is the IAFF president.
That sounds right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, when you start talking about presidents of things that big, and I don't know Kelly at all, I just say in those positions, they seem more like politicians and less like firefighters. And so to me, I'm hesitant. I'm not saying, please don't say that I'm saying that Ed Kelly's not worth the interview. I'm not picking on him. I'm talking about when they're that big in those organizations. That's my hesitation on those, if that makes sense. But I don't know him. If someone knows him and knows he's awesome and he has a lot to offer and would be a good strap and could field good questions for people, then I'm all in.
I'm just playing devil's advocate here, but isn't one of the biggest messages of Firehouse Vigilance the communication between the firehouse and the administration? Isn't the lack of communication there one of the big things?
I mean, it's definitely like one of the big things that Candace talked about in her scrap the other day. I don't know if it's a tenet of Firehouse Vigilance itself. Don't get me wrong. Communication is huge.
Jake Dill says that's exactly why we need them on, to see the true colors and vision. And Candace said, boom. Boom. No, man, my only reservation on that is I don't want it to devolve into, daytime talk show BS between you and the guest. It's really rough to get somebody who may have an opposing viewpoint. It's one thing to disagree about a fireground tactic. It's another thing to disagree about the direction of the fire service.
No, and I never really have to, even when I disagree with people, I'm not a shock jock. I'm not there to go oppo and cause controversy at all.
You're not in it for the sensationalism, is what you're trying to say.
Right. And so even when I disagree with someone, I just let them present their side and it's just informative. It doesn't mean I'm right and they're wrong, and I'm not going to say that. It's, hey, present what you got. This is a scrap. And the audience can decide whether they want to pursue it or reject it.
Jake says, I agree. Just do it once a year with laughy emojis.
I like that answer. No, I would definitely need to put at least a behind the scenes system of saying one non-firefighter per every 5, real scraps or something, to just give myself a guideline.
I mean, if somebody's topic is on point, if whatever they're an expert in or whatever they're known for is part of what Firehouse Vigilance is about, I don't see a problem with bringing them on. Hold on, this is a long one. Let me see.
Okay.
Next level fire training. Next level training network. I think you should do a scrap about 5 different people in one scrap. Allows for group dynamics live. It would make it fun. Truck stuff with engine stuff, front seat leaders and back seat leaders. Man, that's a lot of people to have in one scrap, though.
Well, the mega scraps have always been 3 plus me. The mega scraps have always been 4 people because it fits on the screen well. You know, that's the main reason why the 4. 5, the 5th person is tough. You got to stick them in the middle, like the 5 on a dice. You know what I'm saying? Like they're stuck in the middle, and it makes everything smaller. But 4 works out pretty good. So the mega scraps have always been that. We talked about doing a mega scrap, a battalion chief mega scrap, or I'm not even sure we call it that. We may just call it mental. I don't even want to say mental health. And have Dina Ali, Candace Ash,
Corley's breaking up.
and Rob Fisher. And but that's so maybe the death of the. Am I gone?
No, you're here. It's just I think it's every time you go from one cell tower to another, it drops for about 3 seconds.
Gotcha.
And sometimes it happens
I'm
right in the
getting
middle
into-
while you're talking.
I'm in a place called Ulaga. Ulaga Talaga is what the high
You
school I'm
should tell
passing.
everybody what you saw earlier that freaked you out.
Well, I don't want to say it freaked me out. I just didn't understand what was going on. It was just on the side of the highway. There was like a clearing, and there was an RV pulled over. It wasn't a big RV. It's probably like a 20-footer Winnebago. And then out in this clearing, next to the highway, was like 3 dozen people in sundresses and slacks and plaid shirts. And I could not figure out what the fuck was going on
Just
as I drove by.
Just random people off the side
And
of the
then-
road all dressed up.
There's no way they all came out of the RV. It's just, I mean, unless they were just standing in there like a cattle car. Like I couldn't, and it was just randomly on the side of the highway in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma. And it was a beautiful clearing beside the highway, and there was a tree, and they were standing around, and I was just like,
John?
what did I?
John, I said the exact same thing the moment it happened, the hippies. And Corley said they didn't look like hippies.
No, they looked like, I would say preppy, you know, like their slacks were like creased, and their plaid shirts were tucked in, and the dresses were very almost like Sunday morning, like Easter Sunday morning type deal. It was, I don't know what it was. It was just it. Go ahead.
He
I don't
talked
know.
about it for
I
like
got 3
5
bars.
minutes.
I don't know how long.
It was pretty funny. All right, Steve Mott says, do like the 9 Ls, 8 light bulbs, 5 people, but 4 screens.
I want to fix the cover of the book, okay?
Jake
Who
Dill
was
said,
it Ben Schultz?
oh man, I can't remember.
Was it Schultz who pointed that out?
Jake said maybe they were Mennonites or Mormons. John said Mormons.
No, it kind of got that vibe. It wasn't quite clear.
Jake Dill said we could get
for a while,
McCart
I-
on with Kehoe's. McCart on from Kehoe's.
Yeah, Kevin was on, I want to say 150, 155 area, 160 maybe.
J. Obb said Bill
He
Guston.
came on.
Nothing
Oh,
else.
yeah, Gus is the only person that ever just hung up and left. When he was done, he was like, all right, Corley, that's been a good talk. See you later. And I was just like, I got to ask you these 5 questions and stuff. But he was gone. He was done. It was a great interview. But if you go watch Bill Guston, I don't know, like I'm spitballing here, but I want to say like 135 or so. He just came in there and he did his thing. And when he was done, he was like, all right, it was a good time. I'll see you later. And he just hung up.
Man had places to be.
And it was before the 5 questions. It was before the books. He was just done.
160. It's scrap number 160.
That's enough.
I had to go look it up.
160. Okay.
Let's see.
No,
here.
Bill
Dan
Gustin was awesome. But yeah, watch the end. Watch the end.
Dan Bender said talking about those people out in the field. He said, "Sounds like Charles Manson followers. We'll be hearing more about the
Yeah.
roadside cult."
Yeah, the roadside cult in Winnebago.
Candace
good
said,
wildland
"That's
fire going
hilarious."
on.
She said the Bill thing is hilarious, and Bill is a legend.
Oh, Bill is absolute legend. He's probably been put on the Mount Rushmore. I'm trying to think who's been put on there more. Andy Fredericks is probably number one. What everybody think of the book of Andy coming out?
No, Andy is 100% the most named without even
the most Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. John Shackelford says, "Look about David Eckerman. He owns Lone Star Tactical Buildings and is a Houston fireman. It's got a pretty good story."
No, I've reached out. He was part of the Southwest Inn, right? I've reached out to him before, and he agreed. And then I don't know what fell through the cracks. I think he got busy. Life happened. But yeah, Eckerman is definitely on the radar, and I've talked to him before about coming on.
I'm honestly interested as well. How do people feel about the Book of Andy coming out? Because that one, when that got announced, I was hit pretty. I'm very recent in even understanding what that means, but it's a big deal. Even I know it's a big deal, and I'm just barely involved in this whole thing. Jake Dill says, "Starnes is in the house. Ask him now if he'll come on."
Say that again. I cut out.
Jake Dill said, "Starnes is in
Nope,
the house."
I'm losing it.
Is it going away?
I don't know. I'm definitely getting into rural Kansas now.
Preston Lyon says, "Book of Andy coming out is biblical." I agree with you.
I would agree with that. That's a pretty good way of putting it. Biblical for the fire service.
See if I can get this out. Jake Dill said, "Starnes is in the house. Ask him now if he will come on." I'm guessing he means he's in chat. Oh, he is in chat. Thank you, Coley, for your wife Amanda's hospitality. Edmund.
No, I wish I could have come up there, Chief. I really do. And no, I've got Lightly coming on for 260. I got John Lightly coming on from Insight, and so after that, I'll probably give it a 20 episodes or so and ask Andy to come back on if he's willing, which I think he'll say yes, but I don't want to speak for him.
Andy, we're all asking you, are you willing? You've heard the plan. Are you down for that?
And I want to tell him, Amanda had a blast with your wife and child. She absolutely enjoyed the day.
Andy said, "You are both rock stars, and John Lightly will be awesome." And he said, absolutely, he's down for that.
Sweet.
There you have it,
so
guys.
Plan for the 280 area. Plan for the 280 area, which should be around New Year's. But I'll get with you. I don't want to do Insight back to back, so I want to get at least a 270 if John Lively's going to be 260. So
there you go. We accomplished something today. We got Andrew to be on the scrap. I like it.
Coming back to the scrap.
Preston Lyon says, "Are you guys ready to break the internet for the third time with Scrap 250?
That'll be hopefully.
Corley, I don't know if you can hear me. We cannot hear you. Hold your comment until I let you know that you're back. I will let you know when you're back.
Might be the end.
He might be getting outside the ability to maintain an internet connection.
Are you guys there?
Yes, we got you now.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. I'm surrounded by wheat field. How longer it will last?
Did you have anything you wanted to say about 250 while we have you?
250, man. Let's hype it. Let's hype it and let's crack.
Guys, I apologize. We may not be able to get him back. Andrew, I will pass on what you said. We're going to go through these because we got to go through all those names that everybody gave earlier. So we will go through this chat later. If Corley doesn't come back, then I will probably end this here in a couple minutes. I'll give him a couple minutes before I shut it off. But Dude's driving in
Do, do,
BF,
do.
Oklahoma. Hey, wait.
Driving,
I hear you talking.
being live.
There you go.
I'm
We got
trying
you.
to see if I get a. I'm just
Dan
thinking to
Bender,
myself as I
Dan
drive
Bender
along.
said, "You're entering the next Wrong Turn movie."
No doubt.
Jake
No
Dill
doubt.
said
I'm
he's.
following the
you're-
tracks.
Jake Dill said you're out in horse and buggy country.
No, it's weird. Weird sundresses and plaid shirt country is where it was at.
I did want to say this. Andrew came back and said, topic will be dependent, but I have a new topic for you called The Other Side of Leadership. And he'll just sit there and stare at us.
I think I'm losing it.
I don't think he heard me. Have a great weekend, Candy. Thank you for hanging out. It was awesome to have you in here. It's been a joy talking to everybody about your scrap. It was a big deal. Thank you so much.
I don't know if anybody can hear me. But thank you for hanging out with me on this road trip.
Are you done, Core?
Trying to get home. I don't think it's going to get better looking forward. It's week three from.
It's getting worse. It is getting worse.
Hey, tell everybody thanks for hanging out on the road trip. I loved it. I love them all.
Thanks, guys. We appreciate everyone. Thank you so much for coming in and talking to us and keeping Corley, less than bored while he's on his road trip. And we'll see all you guys Monday on the scrap. 240 coming up. Have a good one, everybody.
Boom.